The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, which you might be familiar with. And I opened it up in all earnestness, like ready to be a good atheist and like tell my parents that I no longer believed and just like commit my life to, I don't know, doing good works and charity and stuff. So I opened this book and I start reading it, and I just realized I didn't fit into any of the categories that Richard Dawkins was talking about. Yeah. I wasn't afraid that there was no heaven. I didn't feel like I needed the comfort of religion, just all these things. But the one thing that stood out to me that he did write was in his foreword, or his the opening of his book, where he basically said that everything that's ever been believed that is disproven becomes obsolete. So we no longer believe that the earth is flat because it was once believed, but now we know it's round. And so that belief is obsolete. And he was just expressing frustration that science was disproving religion, but religion wouldn't go away. Like he was like, it was like this, you know, this nuisance that just wouldn't leave. And that spoke to me more than anything, because I thought, well, why is that? Why is it that religion just won't go away, even though supposedly science is disproving it? Supposedly. Right. And really, in a moment of humility, I sat there and I said, okay, I'm in my early 20s. I have a mediocre GPA at a state college. Like, we're not talking Harvard here. Why do I think I'm going to figure this out when I can look to the past and see that every people's group behind me has called out to something beyond the created? They've all believed in something beyond the material. Why not join them? And so I prayed earnestly and I said, God, I don't know if you're real, but I'm jumping on your team and you better prove yourself to me. That was my prayer. Yeah. And he did. Over the next, I picked up a Bible. I started reading scripture a little bit. He was very upset because he said, Mallory, you're going on this mission trip and you're not bringing them to the Eucharist. And I was like, who cares? I'm bringing them to Jesus. He's like, you're only bringing them halfway. And I was like, you're such a jerk. You know, that's what I was thinking at the time. So at first they were just like, why aren't you Catholic? Yeah. This is what we do, we're Catholic. And then I think after a while, it's kind of like, well, Mallory's doing her thing. Like, she's doing her Christian thing. She's doing her Protestant thing. But my dad it's actually funny. My dad would always say, like, hey, you should watch Women of Grace. And have you watched The Journey Home? He would say that, and I'd be like, I'm not gonna watch EWTN, Dad. And so they would say something every now and then. I say a lot of times when I'm telling my story is I just let myself be wrong. I just allowed myself to be wrong for a long time and let the church speak. I think what we do is we make our decisions in 15 seconds according to the spirit of the age. Yeah. And then the church disagrees, and then we think the church is wrong, or the church is bad, or it's bigoted, or whatever, without ever letting it speak. And when it speaks with thousands of years of thought and wisdom, of people like really digging into this stuff. There's more than meets the eye. And over my whole journey, and the reason I wrote the book and the reason I entered ministry is to say, we have been given an infinite and unsearchable treasure in Catholicism. It is covered up in a lot of muck and a lot of sin and a lot of dysfunction. If we're brave enough to dig through that a little bit, we will find the thing that our hearts are looking for, and it's unsearchable. We can search it our entire lives, and that is Jesus Christ and his tradition.
Yeah, we'll talk about that now.